Good morning, Eastern Oregon on AM live this morning on this December the 14th version. Man, we've like had a crazy morning. My camera looks weird.
I don't even know what was going on in there.
Yeah, well, we're gonna have
It's second Mondays. That's what it is. I'm telling you,
is that what the deal is?
it is.
Oh, okay, good.
Hey,
And
if we had the morning show at 10 o'clock, you wouldn't have near as many problems.
that's true, and I agree.
Oh
Oh,
goodness
yeah.
gracious!
So it's been, yeah. So Randy McInnes from Remax Real Estate is going to join us here in a minute. And then Donna Beverage is going to come into the conversation. And so, yeah. How are you doing, man? How was the weekend?
I'm excellent. It was Milenberg this weekend, so that's always good.
Yeah. How did LHS do?
We won. There didn't seem to be as many teams as there usually is in my eyes, but I think we had 3 first place finishers. We had 7 in the finals. Hermiston was right on our heels the whole weekend, but we pulled it out. Elgin won the small school. I think they had 4 kids place. They had, I think, 11 wrestlers there or something like that, which is quite a bit for a smaller school like Elgin.
Oh, very cool.
It was fun.
So, hey, yeah, if you're listening,
I don't hear you.
You don't hear me?
I can't hear you.
You did.
Can you hear me? Can people hear me? Weird.
Yeah. You
Wow.
can't hear. You can't
I lost
hear me
completely. I ain't got you. There's something weird going on today because your hair looks like it's on fire too.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't hear you. That's going to be an issue, I would imagine.
So you keep going.
Huh? Let me try putting it on my speakers and see if it's the headphones or if it's talk now.
Well, can you hear me?
Yeah.
So it's your headphone.
This earpiece is broken.
Okay.
I was trying to find a new piece for it, but I couldn't find one.
Okay.
Try it now.
The gremlins are everywhere. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yeah, and
the
my
earpiece is broken.
Yeah, and more of my hair is missing than normal.
We were talking about the Milenberg. They started a new thing this year, and they gave the Ryan Jorgensen wrestler of the tournament because Ryan Jorgensen passed away in October, and he wrestled at LeGrand. He was a couple years younger than me, and Braden Carson, who's on the way to being LeGrand's first 3-time state champion. I mean, he's got a really good shot. He won the Milenberg.
Wow.
Lee Wright.
Hey,
Mr.
Lee.
Fix.
What's up? Yeah. I'm glad that you responded so we know that at least we're out there. Somebody's listening.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird. It's because you left everything on all night. I'm sure of it.
Well, yeah.
Let the ghosts play with it and then see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. If we go back to see if it recorded over the night, we can probably find some gremlin that snuck in and did stuff.
Yeah, I would imagine. Probably Benny.
Yeah. Blame it on Benny.
You got to blame it on somebody.
Yeah. Well, so there's today. There's what it looks like from the weather cam. And
I was talking with Marco next door when I got here today.
Yeah.
And he was like, "How you doing?" I said, "I hate scraping the car. I hate the winter." And he goes, "Well, why do you live here?" And I said, "Well, because I was forced to move here when I was 12, and I fell in love with this place."
Yeah.
You don't have to like the weather to really enjoy a place. I like the people.
Yeah. Well, and he probably is not very sympathetic to your complaining.
No,
because he drives from Enterprise every day.
He stays here sometimes though. He has an apartment, but yeah, I would not want to drive the branch every day. No way.
All right, so it's going to be right around freezing all day long.
Yep, it's not going to warm up today.
Yeah, little snow around noon. Mostly clear in the evening. That'll be kind of interesting. All right, and then tomorrow, gloomy start.
24 at 9 o'clock. Yeah, that's going to be nice and cold.
That's funny.
I don't mind the cold as long as there's no precipitation mixed with it.
Yeah. Well, snow showers, flurries developing tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah. Did you see the tornadoes in Kentucky and in the Midwest?
Awful.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah.
74 people in Kentucky died from tornadoes just in Kentucky.
Yeah. Well, and a bunch of them were at that candle factory. Have you followed that?
I was kind of looking at it. I don't really look at the news. You know that I try to stay out of the news, but I was thumbing through it this morning just to see if there was anything really spectacular that happened. And of course, the only thing I can find is negative stuff.
It's because that's what draws attention. That's what people want to hear.
Well, I mean, I guess it's not negative. It's more like just sad. Like, it breaks my heart that people are, lost family members. It's terrible.
No, it's awful, and it'd be really interesting to see what they classify these storms at. I mean, it sounds like they were just horrendous, big tornadoes, F4, F5s, and one of them stayed on the ground for over 200 miles. I don't know if one single tornado was on the ground for 250 miles. Yeah.
I've seen some of those tornado videos. That's scary, man. When they start whipping around houses and cars, and that's scary.
Yeah. It is. I didn't, have you been in the Midwest very much and been a part
Not
of
a lot. I mean, I've been there, but no, I've never been in no storm.
Boy, I tell you, I lived in Kansas City when I was younger, and we think we have storms. I mean, they have storms. I mean, when they have a thunderstorm in the Midwest, it just bangs and booms. I mean, it's like, oh, this is a storm. I mean, it's just,
but they don't have tsunamis or earthquakes, and we got a tsunami coming sometime soon. I don't know if it's soon, but there is a tsunami going to hit the West Coast.
but I don't think it's going to get over the Blues.
No, you mean the Blues? No. It won't even get over the Cascades, dude.
Right.
No, yeah. It's not getting But I'm just saying the West Coast is due. Like that fault.
But you know what's interesting is that, and this is kind of the perspective, and this is not to take away from anything of how tragic this is, but these, tornadoes, tsunamis, those kinds of storms. Now there are some exceptions, but those extraordinary events cause more fear than what is really related to them, which is really appropriate. I mean, so because the amount of people that are actually killed by tornadoes, for instance, in a given year is tiny compared to like car accidents or cancer or murders or being shot, and so but it is so exceptional and so horrible, and it's out of people's control, I guess, that
the worst part is people are missing still, like the missing people, like families just sitting there not knowing where their people are at.
Yeah,
gotta be hard.
All right, well, hey, so Randy McInnes is here with us today to talk about the keys to the market brought to us by Remax, and so he's going to join us here in just a second. Hey, Randy, how are you?
Hey, good morning, you guys.
Morning.
How's it going this morning?
Well, it was good till I got here. Everything works fine now, though, so we're good.
Well, yeah, that's good. So I had set up Randy's computer last night. He's just in the other room from us, and got here this morning, and that computer had shut down, and so then we fired it back up and had him all lined up, and then it spontaneously quit. And so anyhow, so that's kind of why the show got started late.
I think he broke it. I'm just blaming it on him. Yeah. We can either blame it on Bennett or Randy. We have to
Well,
see Bennett
Just
every
will
day.
blame
So,
it on me.
yeah. Yeah,
So,
definitely.
well, Randy is one of the principal brokers. He is the husband and handyman of Shauna McInnes. Is that a good way of putting it?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah. Yeah.
and
I'm
they
the gopher in the
together,
office.
Shauna and Randy own the Remax Real Estate Agency, which is downtown. They've got a lot of help, a lot of great people helping them, and but they carry the broker load. I don't know how do you explain that, but I'm glad you're here with us.
Well, thank you. Yeah, that's a fair way to describe it, I guess. We have a lot of good people down there, Brent.
Yeah, you do, and they're young and energetic, and there are probably times when you feel like, I mean, do you feel that sometimes? Like, wow, they got way more energy than we do. Yeah.
That's why we hire them. Because, yeah, I'm the oldest one in there by far.
Yeah.
And so I depend on them to teach me stuff, to be honest. I know the real estate things, and, the best way to learn tech stuff is to bring somebody in that's, 25 years old and teach you. And so it's worked out really good. We've got some young folks, and then, it's a good mix.
That's good.
Yeah, definitely when it comes to like social media.
Yeah.
Like I have no clue. I still don't even know social media very well.
I wouldn't know anything about it if it weren't for them teaching me. And
Right.
I'm sure that they all stand in the back and draw to see who gets the short straw that has to deal with me.
Like, oh no, I have to show Randy how to post on Instagram.
Right. Yeah.
So Randy, talk to us about what's going on in the market right now.
Well, you guys know what it's been like over the last year or so, maybe 2 years in LeGrand. It's just been crazy. And LeGrand is notoriously stable. So for it to be as crazy as it's been is really unusual in LeGrand. But what we've seen, we've seen escalating prices. We've seen multiple offers, those kind of things over the last little while. But I think as we start to get towards the end of the year, I'm sure some of it is seasonal, but we're starting to see it kind of settle a little bit. I run into the grocery store or anywhere, people always ask me, is the market still so crazy? Well, it's kind of. We're probably not seeing, 7 or 8 offers at a time. We're seeing 2 or 3 now. We're seeing a little less activity in the lower price ranges with new people, but in general, it's still crazy, just not as crazy. It's not hair on fire crazy right now.
Wow, I can imagine this has been an interesting season for you guys.
It has.
Yeah, what caused it? What caused it, Randy? Why did the market go through the roof?
Just go crazy like that? I don't know. I think there were a lot of factors. It was kind of starting before COVID. But I think that sort of ramped it up, we thought that it would slow it down, but I think it did just the opposite. I think it was really a pure supply and demand thing to some degree. I think we're seeing a lot of people that are migrating from the metro areas. They can work from home now. They'd rather live in a place like LeGrand than Portland. So they're selling their house in Portland and moving to LeGrand. So we're seeing a lot of that. We're seeing that, new construction kind of got shut down for a while, so it didn't keep up. So it just kind of fed that lack of supply. I think there was a lot of things like that. The rental market, if you've talked to anybody that's trying to rent a house, it's just crazy. The rent amounts are out of sight. So they figure if they're going to spend that kind of money, they just will buy something. So yeah, there was a lot of factors that fed into that.
So how is it looking going forward? What are you guys seeing happening there?
I think it's going to stay somewhat crazy. But I don't think that it will be near as hot as it has been. I think we're going to see, with all the inflation that you hear about over the last few months, I think that affects the rates after a while. So I think by later in the year, you'll see those creep up a little bit. And I'm not talking about jumping out of jumping through the ceiling or anything, but where we're seeing 3 or 3 1/4, we may see 3 3/4. It won't be crazy, but it will really affect those first-time home buyers who are kind of having to buy right at their limit now because of the pricing in the Grand and how it's gone up. We saw 20% growth in pricing last year. I don't think we'll see that this year. It may still escalate a little bit, but not too bad. I think we're still going to see a lot of migration from people from the metro areas moving into the small towns.
I think that's going to be a trend going forward everywhere. I mean, if there's anything that people figured out during this time is that they can work remotely, and so then yeah, that same mindset of like, if I can work remotely, then I'm going to live where I want to live and remote in. And so, frankly, that's just one of the biggest selling points for LeGrand, for Eastern Oregon, that there is that, yeah, you can live here and work wherever you want to work.
I think one of the things that's always limited the growth in this area has been the employment situation. And so having that change with remote workers, I think is making a big difference. We're probably seeing 50% of the sales that go through our office now are people that are moving into the area from those kind of more metro places, Boise, Portland, maybe Bend, where people moved there and it was a small town when they moved there, and it's not anymore. But yeah, we usually see a fairly small percentage of that. Now we're seeing a lot.
Wow. So
City slickers are taking over.
Yeah.
So if someone is thinking about selling their house, do you think they should wait? What is your advice to them, Randy? Should they wait till the spring, or is there kind of a pretty unique opportunity here that you would advise them to jump on?
There's pros and cons to it, but I would say that now is really not as bad as it seems. A lot of people historically in the Grand, you see the holiday season come along, and so they take their house off the market and they don't want to move in the snow, and you hear a lot of that kind of stuff. But the reality is, right now there's no competition. So if you put your house on the market, you don't have anybody else hardly that's competing for the buyers that are out there. So you have a pretty strong position as a seller. Your house always looks better right now because you got all the holiday decor and that sort of thing. And the truth is, it takes you 60 days to close. So you sell your house this time of year. By the time you close, everyone's worried about moving in the snow, and sliding down the sidewalk with their TV in their hand. That's not going to happen now. By the time you close on your house, you're into the spring. So it's really, it's a pretty decent time. And I don't know if waiting right now is going to make it any better.
Yeah. Interesting.
Well, good deal. Well, thank you, Randy. Anything else that you want to mention that we might have forgotten that is important for people to know?
Well, I don't think so. I think we just have a really good group down at RE/MAX, and I would urge anybody that's considering it to give us a call, talk to one of the folks down there, and we can come and give you some information on what your house is worth and some of that kind of stuff. Doesn't cost you anything, but we have a really educated, experienced group down there. So if you're considering it, give us a call. It's painless to figure out whether it's going to work for you or not.
And you guys are right downtown, right across the street from the closed Umpqua branch.
Yeah, we're right across the street from closed Umpqua. right next door to Corey. So we do have a lender right next door that can help you out. On the other side, we have the kitchen store. So, you know, if you're stressed out about whether to sell your house, you can always walk in there and buy a bottle of wine and go home. So we're right between the two.
And then I put links to the Facebook page and to the website in the comments if you guys want to hit that. Phone number 963-1000-541.
Excellent.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Randy, for jumping on with us today.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, and we're gonna have a different member of your group every month that helps us to kind of get to know you guys. And so,
who's the next victim?
I don't know who the next victim is, but it'll be one of the ladies because I'm the only guy in there. So you guys will have.
You should put them in a hat. You should put everybody's name in a hat and draw it out.
Well, yeah, they'd probably be pulling their own names out of there and throwing them away so they didn't get called.
Yeah. Except for Amanda, she'll jump in anytime.
Yeah.
She's like, where's the camera? Yeah. All right.
All right. There it is, right there. She says Amanda's next.
All right.
Oh, good.
All right.
And I think that's the boss, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the other one. At least, well, I'm glad to know she's awake.
If you got to suffer, she got to suffer.
Right.
All righty. Well, hey, thank you, Randy.
Thanks a lot, you guys. We appreciate you having us on.
Yeah, you bet. All right, man. Hey, real quick, we need to mention some of our sponsors that we forgot to mention at the beginning. So
Cam Designs, right out on the city strip next to Walmart. They do all kinds of stuff. They have high-end stoves, wood stoves. They do awesome signs. I mean, you can see they're starting to make a name for themselves around here, and you're starting to see their signs all over the place. Our van, they wrapped our van. They do chimneys. They do chimney service. They do chimney sweep. They do chimney inspection. I mean, what don't they do?
Yeah, a good group of people. And then CHD Public Health is one of our other sponsors. They're having a big push to give out vaccinations this month, and this Friday,
10 to 2.
10 to 2. Thank you. Yeah. So at their main office
that's vaccination clinic. You can get first or the booster, and if for pediatrics as well. So I mean, it's the full gamut of vaccinations.
That's right. And then last one, A Christmas Carol. This is not the right graphic, but A Christmas Carol is at the Elgin Opera House this weekend, and we'll be giving away tickets. Watch for a post giving away tickets for that event coming up this weekend. So,
boom.
Yeah. All righty. Well, Commissioner Donna Beverage is with us, and I'm going to pull her in. How are you, Donna?
Good. How are you guys?
Hello.
Good. Hey,
Good.
Thanks for joining us this morning.
You're welcome. Good morning.
And for jumping into the jungle. It's been a little bit chaotic here. I don't know how it's been on your end, but.
Well, you guys are supposed to know what you're doing, so I didn't even know which button to hit to get on here. So thanks for helping me with that.
Yeah, well, you did it. You got on, so thank you. So
my computer's still saying all kinds of weird stuff. Like today's been weird. I've never seen it say connection is unstable.
Maybe.
I know.
I've never seen that ever.
Yeah, you can't see it on your end, but on our end, your video. Your video is real fuzzy, so
yeah,
so just kind of weird.
It's never like this. It's weird.
Well, I can bear it. Dodsy is real fuzzy to me, like it's just a kind of a blur from my end. So
that's my camouflage, so you can't see me.
That's on purpose.
That's digital camouflage.
Gotcha.
Well, Donna, tell us what's going on in the Union County Commissioner world.
Well, I was just listening to your comments with Randy and talking about people that are that are moving here and working remotely. Part of that, you have to have good broadband in order to do that. And so Union County, we've been working on broadband for several years. Right now, we're at a pretty good level compared to especially Wallowa and Baker County. We're at around 89%. There is an app that you can, wherever you are with your phone, you can, it's called Test It, and you can go on there and it'll show you how good the broadband is right where you're standing with your phone. And that kind of helps the people that are working on it to know where the weak spots are. But as you've seen many cables going in through Union County, there was money put out to the different companies to get broadband put in. It's been a high priority. So we should be, getting pretty darn close to 100% in the next year or so. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
And not just broadband, like serious fiber broadband.
Right. It's fiber. Yep. It's good. Yeah. I mean, we already have some very good providers, but they're just upgrading to make it even better. So we're very thankful for that because you're right. It's a beautiful place to live. And if you can work remotely, more power to you. So yeah, it's great. In Union County right now, obviously you guys have heard about MIRA, Mount Emily Recreation Area, and us working on managing about 300 acres at this point. But when MIRA was first purchased, which was way before us three commissioners were here, the agreement was multi-use. And so, part of that is taking care of the forest and managing it, not just for, definitely for fire prevention, but also just to take care of it for other reasons, pest control, that kind of thing. And so it's a little more controversial this time because we're in an area that's used, one of the highest used areas. But just need people to know that this has been in the works for many years, and it's part of that original plan that was put together, and the two MIRA groups were part of that plan. And this is just, we're just continuing to follow through with those original agreements. And so there's around 3,700 acres up there. And right now we're just working on this 300 acres. And once we get that managed and taken care of, then hopefully it won't be another 20 years before we have to go into that section. Some of the concerns have trail damage and taking of big trees and that kind of thing. So, our managers worked with that, and a couple of things that they've talked about is, having a 20-foot buffer on each side of the trails, making sure that we go back in and restore any trails that were damaged. They're using a different machine that they would normally not use for logging, one that's a lot easier on the landscape, and it's going to cost quite a bit more to get that machine, but at the same time it will damage less or have less to repair after we get done. So it's not always fun. It's kind of like paving a new road. It's not fun to sit in the middle of the road for a half an hour while they're putting that pavement in and covering those potholes, but it's part of what we need to do in order to manage it. And we certainly don't want the place to burn. We did do, a fire section up on the top this last year. So if we do get a fire, there's some breaks up there. So it's not always fun to do those things, but in the long run, it's what we need to do. We need to take care of the land.
Can I get some clarification? So when you said the original groups that were part of the decision, yeah. So yeah. Is that the people that are against this now?
Well, I don't know. No, it's not. It's specific people right now that have some concerns, and some of them could be on the groups or not. I don't really want to name who's for it and who's against it, but right. I think that a lot of them have the same concerns that that we have. We want to make sure that we take care of the weeds. We want to make sure that we, don't tear up trails that volunteers have taken care of, and so. I guess we need people to know that we know how important Mira is to our economy, and but at the same time, we need to take care of it and manage it. So that's very difficult, especially because it's in a well-used part, which I use that part a lot myself. So I totally understand. But we do care about that. And, we're not in it just to make money. Certainly we will make some money, but there will be areas that we log where we'll lose a lot of money too. And you guys don't want us to be using taxpayer money. So this isn't going to be taxpayer money that's used. Any money that's made goes right back into the Mount Emily Recreation Area. It doesn't go anywhere else in the county. Just want that to be clear.
Well, I would imagine that it's kind of like a lot of things. So, I mean, the climate has changed. The political climate has changed over the past 25 years. I don't know when Mira was put together. It was put together like in 2000, right? Yeah, sure, something like that.
Yeah, I don't know the exact dates.
Right.
It was after that. It was later than that, but
right. But the point is that the climate for managing those types of things has changed. And
right.
And and certainly then we go back to talking about people that are migrating into Eastern Oregon. They're younger. They're going to have a different perspective on managing forests, and we could drill down on that, but I think we kind of understand what that means. And so then I don't know that they have a concern. And it's like when you go to college, when you're a college student and you go to college, you don't really have any idea that you're not making the decisions. You happen to be the customer at that particular time, but it's the administration, and it's years and years of decisions that have been made before that are guiding your experience. And there's a little bit of that happening with Mira, in the sense that I don't know that they really care what the original agreement is. All their most concern is like, well, we're here now. This is what we think. And I don't know. I'm just kind of, it's a different change. It's different. So.
Yeah. Some of the people with concerns have been here from the beginning.
Okay.
And they understand those original agreements. Like I said, it's hard sometimes to make the right decisions. We do care what they think. We do care what their concerns are. We aren't just trying to override people, but at the same time, we have those same concerns, and that's why we want to manage it for those same reasons. We, if you look at what just happened to Lake Tahoe and that huge fire they had and all those beautiful trails they had and that kind of thing, we don't want that to happen up here at Mount Emily Recreation Area. And, we're kind of in a spot where no matter what we do, it's going to be wrong. So if that burned next year, they'd be like, why didn't they manage it? So, it's a hard spot, but we have experts that have been working on it. They know what they're doing. We have foresters. I'm not a forester. And we have people that have done that for years that are the experts. And so, we rely on those people that know what they're talking about. And not only that, but living here my whole life and my husband working, in the forest through the years, we log different than we used to log. We made mistakes through the years, and we're improving that all the time. We have machines that do things that they didn't used to do. And we have companies that come in and clean up the slash. And we have, we're doing things a lot different than even 20 years ago, even our Forest Service. So we want to do it right. We want to do it careful, but we do want to keep it managed. And that's one thing at the county that we've been dealing with.
Yeah.
Also, some good news. I don't know if I told you guys this last time. I don't know if that had happened yet, but Buffalo Peak Golf Course got named best facility in Oregon. And so that's pretty awesome. And we're getting people from, all over the country coming to Buffalo Peak to go golfing. And then, with the Hot Lake Springs opening up and the RV park in the summer, and then now in the winter you can go there. They're doing a lot of stay and play, and with some of the businesses in Baker County doing some stay and play. And I think that's helping the whole region. So pretty excited about that.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
then, yeah, really good. And then let's see, place-based planning. So I think I've talked about that before, but it's where we have a group of people that have been working for 4.5 years on water issues in Union County and putting together a plan. And so we are getting ready to go to Oregon Water Resources with our final plan. And then we do have money to start a feasibility study for storage in Union County. And so we will start our first meeting on that in February. So that's very exciting. And we have the different state OWRD and ODFW and those different groups. We have about 25 different stakeholders. The tribes are on that group, many landowners in the county. And so we'll be working on starting that feasibility study for different kinds of storage in Union County. And that'll probably take a couple of years, but it's exciting because hopefully it could alleviate some of the problems for fish, farmers, and the cities as far as, and then the flooding too, where we get the flooding in the spring and then not enough water in the fall. So
what are some of the options that are even available in that?
Well, there's many options. So when you're talking storage, there's lots of different kinds of storage. It could be underground storage. It could be above storage. It could be sloughs on the side where you store water. It could be ponds. So that's what the feasibility study is to say, what do we have available? Where could we put it? And what's the most cost effective way to store water? So that's kind of what that study will be. And there have been previous studies, and one that I believe it was Soil and Water Conservation District did, and there was around 40 sites they came up with, but only about 20 of them were cost effective. So definitely some work has already been done. And so we're excited to move forward with that. And as far as I feel, to be successful, we need to be implementing something in the next couple of years, and not like 20 years from now, them being like, oh yeah, 20 years ago they studied and nobody did anything. We don't want to do that. We want to work together, and especially with climate change that people are talking about now, we need to be storing some water and taking care of the needs that we have. So pretty excited about that. And I'm the convener for that group. So yeah, we've been working on that for a while. COVID, yeah, it hasn't gone away. And of course we have new variants now. But it's getting better. It's getting better. And so, CHD is in charge of that for the county as far as, public health. But we are happy to see that our numbers are going way down. So very thankful for that.
Well, good.
With COVID though, I haven't talked about COVID for a while on any of my shows, but I just so people are aware, around the country, the numbers are going up. Like the NFL, NBA, there's 36 guys in COVID protocol right now in the NFL because they're around each other and they're not wearing their masks. And so, you still need to be diligent and protect yourself. I'm not saying you have to wear a mask or whatever, but be responsible and diligent.
Absolutely. Be responsible. Absolutely. I totally agree with you there. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. A couple of other issues in Union County that we talked about last time, the housing. I don't know if you guys were able to attend the virtual veterans housing thing the other day, but we have 10 homes right now in Union County. It was a pilot project. I believe 8 of those 10 homes are full right now of veterans. And so now other counties want to know, how did you do that? So we're wanting to replicate that in other counties where we have places for our veterans to live. And so that's pretty exciting.
So how was that funded? Talk to us for a minute about how that funding comes together.
Well, it was a private, so Gus Chachas did it, and so it was privately funded. I don't know exactly where all his funding came from, but it didn't come through the county or anything. I don't know if there were any state funds. I don't want to misspeak, so I don't really know where the funding came
Right.
from.
So I guess, so I mean, I'm just trying to, when you said how other counties can do it, I mean,
they want it. Yeah. So the process we went through, because there's a lot of like land use and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
There's like a huge process you have to go through. And then and also a process to make sure that it's specifically for veterans only. And so other counties want to know, what that process was, but it was privately done. But how did you do that? Because they want to replicate it in their own counties or find someone to help them replicate it.
But the land use, I'm still not quite understanding. So why does there need to be special? Was the permitting discounted, or I mean, I don't know. Why can't somebody just have a tract of land and say this is going to be veteran housing?
Well, Brant, we're trying to get that put together so we can have that whole process put together so that we can explain it better. So we are working on that now, trying to get that all put together so that we can share that with other people.
But in a nutshell, then there are benefits to jumping through all of the hoops somewhere, right?
There has to be, or they wouldn't have done it.
I would suggest you guys invite Gus to come and visit with you. Okay?
Yeah, I've asked Gus and Karen to come on, and they have declined, so it's all right. Yeah.
Okay.
So, all right.
I don't want to misspeak on any of the details of that.
No, I mean, I guess I'm just trying to figure out.
I am excited for those veterans. So that part I'm very excited about. But we are looking at getting getting an idea of that process so that other counties can work on it. And I do believe Baker County is working on some veteran housing right now.
Right, but I guess I'm still.
You're still confused on like veteran compared to something else.
What does the county have anything to do with veteran housing? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah.
How do they enable that in any way?
Well, number one, it wasn't a county project. It's something happening in the county that I'm excited about. So
yeah. Oh, got it. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So, all right. Yeah.
Okay, because we have a housing shortage here, and I care about veterans. So to me, that's just an exciting project that happened.
Oh no, it's a total win. I'm just trying to figure out.
I gotcha.
Yeah,
I see what you're
I'm trying
saying.
to figure out how the county, So good.
Okay, and then Northeast Oregon Economic Development. They are always trying to help businesses, so I would advise people to go onto their website. She's always doing classes. She has one today, but on anything to do with starting a business, running a business. There's money to loan for different businesses. It's very low interest. A lot of times when a business can't get a second mortgage, but they just need a little bit to tide them over, NEODD can step in. They work with banks, and they will help a business get over a hump that they might have. So I would encourage people to, and I'm on that board of directors, also Commissioner Scarfo. It's the 3 counties. So it's Baker, Wallowa, and Union County that work together. And so I would encourage people to check into what they have available.
Very cool.
And the county is involved in that.
I know that. Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Good. Well,
awesome.
Job openings. You'll probably see it all over the place. Hiring. Everyone's having a difficult time. I would venture to say there's several hundred job openings in Union County right now. I see Boise Cascade, the hospital, little businesses, big businesses. Everybody's looking for help. Don't have an answer to that. But I do know a lot more people are working because our employment rate's down to, I believe, about 4.4%. I think maybe a lot of people that were getting ready to retire or close to retirement went ahead and said, during COVID, I think I'll go ahead and do that. That could be part of it. And then there are a lot of jobs in Union County that are booming. Some are suffering, but there's a lot that are really, if you want to be a trucker, go get your CDL because you can be hired in about 5 minutes. Yeah.
Donna, Tyler Garrison says hi.
Hi, Tyler. He went to school with my kids.
With Brett. Yeah. Yep. They're just a little bit younger than me.
Oh, really? Yeah, they went
Yeah.
to, he's in Lewiston, I believe. Yeah.
Yep.
So you guys have viewers from all over the country.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Tyler always watches. Yep.
Oh, does he? That's cool.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you're talking about wrestling earlier. This has nothing to do with the county, but congratulations to all the teams, the basketball and football and wrestlers and cross country track. I mean, we've got some pretty neat programs in Union County, and yeah, I enjoy going and watching all the different sports. It's fun. I have grandkids in pretty much every school in Union County, so it's fun. Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, very cool.
Yep.
Well, what about any funding? Have you guys made any? You have a slug of money that over a course of time you've got to distribute, and kind of bring us up to date on that, will you?
Yep. Well, one pot of money that I need to check. We didn't have it yet last week, but it's $500,000 that we got through the state that we're going to help local businesses with, like we did before, that have lost, had like a certain percentage of loss from last year to this year because of COVID. Last time we targeted small businesses, which were 50 or less. You had to be at least you had to own, at least someone in Union County had to own at least 51% of the business, so that we weren't helping people that were out of the county. We haven't put those guidelines together for this, but as soon as we get the money, we will be putting those guidelines together. We do have a work session in February where that's on the agenda. We also have our ARPA money, which we've gotten half of it now. We will get, I believe, the other half next year. And we will be having a work session also in February to talk about what the guidelines will be for that. And we do have a whole wall full of suggestions and ideas and proposals that people have sent us of good ways that we could use that money. So we will, I'm guessing it'll be at that February work session where we start kind of really getting it narrowed down a little bit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
and we have clear till 2024 to spend that. So it's not like we have to, rush into it. We want to make sure that we use it correctly and wisely.
Good.
All right.
Yeah. You guys have questions for me?
I think I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
Thank you, Donna.
Thank you.
Appreciate you
jumping on with us today. And and always look forward. And I don't know that I have voiced this specifically, but I have a schedule. We're trying to have one of you guys on each month.
Okay.
And so
just a rotating.
And so it's going to be like anyhow, I'll reach out to you guys so that we can kind of get that on a regular basis, and it'll be like on the third Thursday or something, we'll figure that out.
Okay.
So
let me know. I'm happy to come and talk and share what I know, which isn't that much, but do the best I can.
Well, we appreciate you and appreciate you being able to be here today.
Okay. Thanks, both of you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Donna.
Mm-hmm.
Brady, what's up? I forgot to say hello to you when you said hello. And we're going to get into this. BC, why do geologists hate their job?
Why?
Because they get taken for granted. On this day, December 14th, 1774, the first incident of the American Revolution, 400 New Hampshire militiamen successfully attacked Fort William and Mary. On this day in 1849, the first chamber music group in the U.S. gives their first concert in Boston. On this day in 1903, the Wright brothers attempt to fly the Wright Flyer for the first time, Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. On this day in 1967, DNA is for the first time ever is created in a test tube. Wow. 1967. On this day in 2003, U.S. President George W. Bush announces the capture of Saddam Hussein. 2003, so that's 18 years ago on this day.
Wow.
On this day in 2016, Amazon announced its first delivery by drone 2 kilometers from their warehouse in the UK. So that's 5 years ago they were delivering Amazon packages with drones, dude. That's crazy.
I don't think they're doing that. They're not doing that in the US yet.
No, but they're doing it in the UK.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy. I watch these videos, BC, and people figure out, like, this guy, he figured out that Amazon was paying like $11 a bag for Hershey's Kisses, like the Christmas ones.
Yeah.
So he went to Walmart, and he went to like 2 or 3 Walmarts and bought every single bag of these Hershey's Kisses for $2.99, and then turned around and sold them to Walmart or to Amazon. There was like a $4 fee. He made $4 a bag off of these Hershey Kisses. That's crazy. That's how Amazon gets some of their stuff. Is that people sell it to them. It's crazy, man. Number 1 song on this day. Let me get to the pictures here. BC, don't get too excited over this, man. It's Physical. Dude, look at this video, man. What are these guys doing?
Yeah, Olivia Newton-John, dude.
Yeah, look at that outfit too. Oh my goodness.
Let's get physical.
Oh gosh. Oh, so quote for the day. There it is. It's so this one's kind of weird because a lot of people say it's not an Aristotle quote, that it's a translation of an Aristotle quote, but the quote is, "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit." So, I mean, everybody says that. Well, not everybody, but it's like a translation of what Aristotle actually said, because they did not talk like that back in the days of Aristotle. It was way more complex than back then. Way more complex. That's why I looked it up. I'm like, they say this is an Aristotle quote, but it doesn't really like.
Yeah.
It is like a loose translation of an Aristotle quote. And let's see. I think that's about it, right?
All righty.
Yeah, that's it.
So
we'll be back on Thursday.
Thursday, I think George Mendoza will be with us on Thursday. And next Thursday, a week from Thursday, we're planning, I haven't talked to you about this yet, but we're planning on kind of a Christmas program. That'll be the last show before Christmas, and I'm working on having a performer here live that will do Christmas stuff, but it'll be kind of a fun time. So, all righty.
Appreciate you, Eastern Oregon.
Talk to you soon.